Yes, good afternoon, dear students. This is URUREMBO class. I'm teacher Fidel. Today's lesson is literary terms used in poetry. But before we go on, I hope you are okay, you are fresh, and you are ready to learn today. Okay, dear students? Dear students, we have here the lesson called literary terms used in poetry. And as just we bring you this lesson, we have seen that now the examiner is changing the style of just setting the exam. I mean the body charges of setting the end of year the exam. NESA, okay, is changing the way of setting exam. The reason why I have brought you this lesson, okay? So in literature, so these are terms related to prose. Each term that is related to prose, okay? So now let's begin with what is a literary device. What is a literary term? What is a literary technique? Okay? So now, these generally are the names that we call terms that we use in prose. Those literary devices, those literary techniques, okay, those are figurative languages. They are tools, of course, they are tools that the author uses to draw in the reader, to make the reader pay attention, okay? And also they help the reader to get a better understanding of what is happening in the story, okay? Now, let's have definitions here below. Now, this is a literary term used in prose, which called flashback. What is a flashback, dear student? Now, what is a flashback? Now, a flashback interrupts the plot of a story and goes back to the past event. So now it is a flashback is a prose term. Okay, a literary term, okay, that interrupts the plot. It means it goes back to the past event. Okay, when you are narrating a story, for example, and when you reach in the middle and you narrate the story that happened in the past, you interrupt your plot. That time to record a flashback. Okay, dear student, that's a flashback. Okay, it means it is usually done to show how something or someone was before the story took place. It means we refer the story of the past. The reason why it interrupts the plot of the story. Okay. Now the other literary term related to prose is called foreshadowing. Now, foreshadowing is like the opposite of just a flashback. Instead of referring to the past, but here foreshadowing refers to the future. So then, foreshadowing is where future events in a story or something that the outcome are suggested. Okay. Now, this is the one is like now. In a story, you have something that shows what will happen in the future. That's what we call foreshadowing, okay? It's like to predict something that show you, that make you predict what will happen in the future. What will happen in the future. It's called the foreshadowing. The next term related to prose, dear student, is hyperbole. We read hyperbole. So hyperbole is a figure of speech in which exaggeration is used for emphasis or effect. Now, hyperbole is when we use exaggerations. Okay? We exaggerate too much. Now, here we have an example. And sometimes the hyperbole expresses idea which is impossible to happen. Now, dear students, listen to these examples. This book weighs a ton. Did you find a book that weighs a ton? Impossible. But this is exaggeration. Anyway, the second example, dear student, I could sleep for a year. There is no one who can sleep for 1 year. Okay? Even 1 week it is not possible. So this is exaggeration. So this is now hyperbole. Seems impossible. Dear students, we have another term related to prose, idiom. An idiom. What is an idiom? What is an idiom? Okay? What is an idiom? An idiom is a speech, form, or expression of a given language that is peculiar to itself grammatically or cannot be understood from individual meanings of its elements. So now, an idiom is a speech or expressions that's not easier to understand or to get the meaning. Okay? The reason why here we have example. Don't put your eggs in one basket. This is an idiom. What the idiom means? It means that don't just invest your money in one business. That's my meaning. Okay? Don't invest your money in one business. Because one business can have a problem. Okay? But you have another business, it can just recover the one who has, the other one that has a problem. So don't put your eggs in one basket. This is an idiom, and it has a meaning, hidden meaning, not easy to get. Okay. So we have imagery. Imagery also is an author's use of descriptive and figurative language. This imagery is used simply to create a picture in the reader's mind. Imagery is where you can taste, you can hear, okay, you can see, you can touch, okay. This is imagery, okay. Apart from imagery, we have iron. Dear students, iron has three types of iron. We have dramatic iron, we have situation iron, and we have verbal iron. Okay? We have three types of iron. Dramatic iron, first of all, okay? And this is when it happens when the reader, okay, when the reader or audience understands more about the event of the story than a character. It is when an audience, okay, understand the story, okay, or the events more than the character, more than the one who is performing. That's dramatic iron. And then for situation iron, it is when what happens is the opposite of what expected. Should we expect some outcome, and then you are shocked to see the opposite. That is the time where we say it is situation iron. Verbal iron or sarcasm. It is when what you say is the opposite of what you say is the opposite of. It is when what you say is the opposite of. Of course, yes. What the opposite of the meaning? Of the meaning. What you say, what the person says, okay, the meaning is the opposite of what is being said. That's the verbal iron. Okay. Now we have metaphor. Metaphor, as you can see, is the comparison. Okay. Metaphor is the comparison. But it does not use like and and as to make the comparison. So there is a comparison without using the word like and as. Okay? Example here, you can check the example, dear student. Here we have example. Here we have example. Here we have example, dear student. The river was a winding snake in the forest. The river was a winding snake in the forest. This compares the river to a snake by stating that is a snake, okay? That the river was a snake. It is direct comparison. It is direct comparison, dear student, where there is no using like and as. The second example, the pillow was a cloud when I put my head upon it after a long day. So also this compares the pillow to a crowd immediately. Okay, without comparative words. So, dear student, also we have another term. This term is used in both in prose and in poetry. The reason why it is coming again. And you have seen this term also in poetry. But the term comes again in prose. Okay, don't worry. It is used in both genres of literature. So onomatopoeia also, I said that it is the word that just imitated the sounds. Okay, like more, like cow, etc. Okay. Now we have also the other term that's called the personification. Personification also is a figure of speech which things are endowed with human qualities and are represented as possessing human form. Now, personification is giving qualities of human being to non-human beings. Okay? And then whereby an animal can speak, can farm, can do like a human being does. Right? Examples, a reference to the thunder becoming angrily. Okay? The thunder coming angrily. Let's personify the thunder by giving emotion. Now a thunder has been given emotion, or a smiling moon. Like that, you give the qualities of a moon, like a human being, that a moon can smile and have such feelings, right? Now we come back. We come to the simile. Simile, dear student. Simile is also a comparison whereby you use words like as. So it's like the opposite of metaphor. Okay? So the example is the man was as tall as a tree. This compares the man to a tree. The necklace around her neck swung like a pendulum or a clock. And then this compares a necklace to a pendulum. Now this is symbolism. Symbolism, dear students. A symbolism is the practice of representing things by means of symbols. You can use a symbol and you represent something, attributing to symbolic meanings. Okay. Now, let's have an example here of symbolism. A move about the history of the United States might show a bald eagle flying overhead. Flying overhead. An eagle flying overhead. It means the eagle serves it as a symbol of freedom. The eagle that is found in the United States movie, now it symbolizes freedom. Okay, the eagle symbolizes the freedom. Now, tone. Dear student, what is a tone? Also, it is a term related to prose. Okay, and the tone is a writer's attitude towards the subject or characters, audience, and then is conveyed through the author's choice, diction, imagery, figurative language, details, or syntax. So why the tone? The tone are feelings that you get after reading a story. Okay? Now, after reading the story, what tone that the narrator has used. Okay? Now, the tone has used gives you the feelings. And the tone can give you the feeling which is not good, for example. Because also the tone is not good, it's not good. Okay? And also the tone produces mood. Apart, when you have a tone, we can have a mood and the attitude, the feelings after reading a story. So the same as mood, also the feeling that the writer creates for the reader. What mood do you after reading the story? What mood do you have? Okay, because of the tone of the writer. Okay, and then we have the term prose. What is prose? Okay, simply prose is a conventional form of writing. Okay, that is written in continuous sentences and organized into paragraphs. And also you can see prose respecting the grammatical rules. Okay, and then the example of prose is novel, short stories, novellas, and newspapers, articles, and letters. Okay. Sorry, dear student. Okay. And you have seen, yes, we are on. Okay, we're talking about the prose. Okay, we're talking about the prose. Now we can talk about what is a novel. What is a novel? So a novel is a long work of fiction written in prose form. This is opposite to drama and poetry. Okay? So it is a long work of fiction written in prose form. But a novella is a short novel. Now when a novel is short, now it becomes a novella, not a novel. Because it has a few characters, it has a few conflicts, and it has a few plots. But for a novel, has many characters, many conflicts, and many plots, and many themes. For a short story is a form of prose. But this form of prose, it is shorter than a novella in volume. And short story is shorter than also novel and novella. Simply because it is short in length. Because it should have one conflict or problem and one main character. It has prose that is not complicated. That's not complicated. Focusing on one main character. So what is a plot? It is how events follow one another in a sequential manner. Also, plot is now the sequence of events. The sequence of events means a plot. So now a plot should have exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and the resolution. And we're going to have a lesson apart in the details of plot. And then let's go to the other term. When we say context, context refers to the whole situation, background, or environment relevant to particular event. When we say the context of the play, the context of the novel, it means its background. Okay, its background situation, its historical information or circumstances. Okay. Now, what is a character? So a character should be a person, an animal, or object that the writer has been used in a story. And then you have types of characters. We have main, major, or central characters. These main characters are leading characters, okay, in the story. And they form the core of the story. And the theme is based on them. It means everything in the story is around the main character, or is around him or her, if it is the main character. And then you have, in the main character, we have protagonist and antagonist. A protagonist is the main character who is facing the problem or conflict. He must resolve that conflict. And this man, he is his main character who has a good behavior. When a protagonist always a protagonist is, or she is positive, okay, because he has a good behavior, and he is called a hero. He is considered as a hero or heroine. While antagonist is the main character who always brings challenge, okay, who always brought challenge to the main character, which is the protagonist. And this one, okay, has bad behavior. He is considered as a villain character in the story. And then we have also minor characters. Okay, they are characters that play not a big role, play a less role in the story. Then we have positive characters and we have negative characters. They are positive when they do good things, okay? And they are negative when they do bad things, okay? Okay? And then we have the other type of characters. We have a dynamic character. When it is a dynamic character, it means it changes over time in the mind, in the physical, changes in every aspect. And when it is static, this is a character that never grows, okay? This character never grows. Now flat character now shows or two personality. Can just have two personalities. Can change, okay? Can grow in mind, can grow physically, right? Now it is now complex. It is called also complex or round character. When it has complex personalities, more than one behavior, okay, can be good or bad, can be one time can be intelligent and also can be not intelligent on one and sometimes. Okay, we have also rounding. We have also flat or simple character. It's a character that should show one behavior, one dimension. Okay, one dimension, right? Should have one personality, only one personality. This person does not change. Okay, does not change. Okay, this is why to show one personality. Stock characters. Okay, stock characters. Okay, now these characters they appear so often and recognized by more. Okay, you see, stock character, they appear so often in fiction and it is recognized by more readers. You cannot forget them because maybe what they do in a play or in a novel. What is the setting? The setting is the time and the location that the story takes place. Okay? Then what is the point of view? Point of view, it is the angle from which the story is told. Point of view. It means you have the first person point of view, the second and the third one. And the first one is shown by using I. The first one, I. It means the narrator also is involved in the story. And so we have also the theme. Okay? We have the theme. But before we go to the theme also, the second point of person point of view, we use you. And also the third one, we use he, she, or they. And also in the third person point of view, it is divided into two. We have the omniscient and the limited narrator. Also, let's go to the theme. A theme is a central idea or underlining meaning of fiction of piece. Central idea. Okay, main idea. Underlining meaning of the fictional piece of work. Then, dear student, the last but not least, in these terms related to prose, we have a message. Okay? We have a message. What is a message? A message is a lesson that you learn after reading a literary work. What lesson do you get from a literary work? So that is what we call a message. And the message also should be what the author wants the reader to get. Okay? So, thank you, dear student. It was a long lesson, but very interesting because you have to be careful knowing each and every literary terms or terms related to prose. As I have told you, now you will find some of these terms in your exam. Please revise and stay tuned on URUREMBO class. I am Teacher Fidel. Thank you so much. Thank you for following. Thank you for paying attention. Now let's meet for next time. See you.